It's Handmade Hump Day, and I am here to show you how to make this sweet little treat box or gift box, and it's getting ready for Valentine's or spring, so stay tuned. Hello, fellow crafters and paper artisans. It's Chandra with Stockton Stuff. Today we are going to make um, a triangle box that closes. And I had made a couple of these for Christmas, and I don't think that I made any videos to show you. I did gift them away. I am starting with a piece of paper that is, I'm using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I cut the 11.5 side down to 9 3/4. So I end up with a portrait and a landscape. All right. So I am going to start by scoring on the portrait side at 2 inches on each side, all the way down. I'm using my scoreboard because I already cut, and I'm just going to flip this around and do 2 inches over here. And instead of using my score and cut board, my Stampin' Up one, which I use a lot and I love it. And then I'm going to turn on the landscape side. I want to make sure you can see those. I'm turning on the landscape side, and I am scoring at 2.5. Sometimes I feel like my scoreboard is a little off. So I have to start and finish with the same one, or else I'm going to feel like I'm off a little bit. And then 5.5, and then 8. So I scored portrait 2 on each side. Landscape, I went 2.5, 5.5, and 8. So I have a little skinny part here, if you can see that. All right. So I have one section that's bigger than the others, and it's measuring at looks like it's about 3 1/8. And so it's probably just really 3. Like I said, I always feel like this scoreboard is off a little bit. Let me just measure real quick. Yeah, well, maybe it is about 3 1/8. It's a little longer than 3. So I want to try to get in the middle as close as possible. So I'm going to do, I probably should have got a ruler that doesn't have so much glue on it. I'm going to see if I can mark it at that little mark right past 1.5. So that should give me what I need for the 8th. So I'm just going to mark with my pencil, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And let's make sure that looks like it's right across from each other. Yes, I love this tool. This, I don't even know what you call it, a T ruler. That's probably not right. But I love it nonetheless. And what I'm going to do is I am going to try to get that diagonal, and I'm going to try to score from there. That's not a good one. It's really easier for me to do that on my cutting board. I apologize, because I can see it better in the little crease in the board. So I'm trying to get this to go from corner to corner from my mark to the corner of that square. I was almost there, but not quite. So what I'm doing is I'm lining the corner there with the, and I can just double check that, with the corner of with where my mark is down to the corner of that there. Okay, so actually I could just use sorry, I could have been more prepared. So I'm going to just use this tool here, and then I'm going to do the same thing, going to the other corner and try to get scored down there. Then I'm flipping it over to my other mark, and I'm going to do the same thing. This is probably the hardest part of this box, is getting that lined up. And I feel like I don't have it lined up. There, and then I'm going to flip it around and try my best to do the same thing here. All right, so now I have like a triangle on each end of that. Okay, so we are going to cut, and so here I can use my pencil since I'm going to cut it out. So we are going to cut out this square, and this whole part here, and this whole, so that's 2 squares. So those are squares, rectangle, rectangle, and these are really rectangles. I said square. So all we're going to have left is really the center, and then this section that we scored the triangles on, okay? So I'm going to cut these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you're going to end up with this shape here. And so I am going to fold and burnish on all of my lines that I have left. All right, including my triangle, which I'm going to kind of do both ways because I'm going to need them to cooperate with my box. And sometimes when you have that, needing that fold there, it's, I find it easier if I do it both ways to just make it more flexible. I guess maybe even giving, loosening those fibers up. And this was true disclosure, that was a bad cut there. I wasn't using my snips, I was using my Dollar Tree scissors. And, but that's okay, because we are going to put some paper over that to decorate. All right, now the smallest side of this is going to be your flap, and so you're going to round your corners. Of course, you don't have to, or if you are a precision cutter and you don't have a corner rounder, you can definitely just take your scissors and go around. I see people that do that. I'm just totally amazed. I cannot do that. I have to have all the tools. So I'm just being honest there. And then we are going to add some adhesive to the side. So before I do that, I want to tell you about the paper. I just picked a paper that I didn't really like that I'm going to decorate with. It is from my Lucky Us. There's some other ones in here that I love, but this one not so much, because I knew I was just kind of making this as a tutorial for you, and so it's not as Valentine-y as I would want it to be. I'm going to go ahead, and once I figure out the direction, so let's see here. I am so bad about that. I have this paper and I always forget to cut off. It's not as because it's on the back, you know how a lot of paper is on the front and you cut it off, and I always end up with that there, so I might have to put a piece of paper on the inside. All right, so this is going to go in that direction, so I'm going to round the corners on this as well so that it's a nice fit. All right, then I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue. This is not a commercial, it's just the glue that I've been using, and I notice a lot of people are using it. I think it's because it's accessible. You know, people were crazy about glitter glue, but it's just not accessible, and it's expensive too. So I'm not really a glue snob. I was using I've been, you know, I kind of go by what people say. Oh, I love this glue, I love that glue, and I kind of switch it up a little bit. So, oh, I didn't give you the measurements. So this is 4 1/4 wide by, so this piece is 1 1/2, and then these two pieces are 2 1/4. Now, if you are using directional paper, you want to cut your 4 1/4. So this was a 12 by 12. You want to cut your 4 1/4 going down. I always do it the opposite way because I'm a card maker, and then I realize, oh, that's not going to work because then my flowers are going to be sideways. So now I have my paper cut wrong, but you know, I will use it. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of this on, but I like to get the lay of the land. So there's my flap there. So then I'm going to want this one's going to go up. So my flowers are going in the right direction. And then this video is going to be so long because I'm giving tips and all of that. It's the last one of the year. You all know how to make a box, but I feel like I need to say stuff. All right, so there's that. And then I don't like it to be blank on any side. I think I've seen some tutorials where they don't put it on that back flap. If you even want to do the bottom, that's up to you, but it's not necessary. And I am not precisioned enough to take care of those sides. So, all right, so then we are going to put adhesive on this flap, the front one. All right, so that when your box opens, these are like flaps that go inside, but these are going to be connected. So I'm putting the adhesive. I'm using wet glue. I could have used, you know, I would have done something stronger than my tape runner. I could have used double-sided, but wet glue gives me time to make sure I got my triangle nice and positioned properly so that we can close it well. Now, you can do, you can punch into a brad, you can do a button wrap. I used Velcro on mine, and I have somebody, I think I've told you before, that likes little boxes, and so I make her some every now and then. I was just making some out of Christmas paper, and so I gifted her one. Now, this box, let me tell you what fits in this box perfectly because I did use it for that. You know, the night lights that are rectangular from the Dollar Tree that you can put vinyl on and decorate? Perfect fit. You know, once you decorate, you got to take it out of the packaging. It fits in here perfectly. So this, I love this box because of that. And it was quick and easy to make. So like I said, I just put a Velcro dot there, and there it is. You could also tie it with ribbon, however you like. So there you go. Thanks for watching.